All right, let's dive into a book that you might find in the children's section, but honestly, its lessons on love, loss, and what really matters, well, they hit different when you're an adult. We're talking, of course, about the timeless story of The Little Prince. And if you want to get a sense of just how big this little book is, just look at this number. We're talking over 200 million copies sold worldwide. That's insane. This isn't just some cute storybook. It's a genuine global phenomenon. It's a story that, for so many of us, kind of quietly rewired how we look at everything.
So yeah, that begs the question, right? What is the secret here? How on earth does this tiny book manage to pack such a massive punch with so few words? That's the mystery we're going to try and solve together.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in, of all places, the Sahara Desert, just about the loneliest place on the planet. And it's right here that a pilot, completely stranded, has an encounter that's going to change, well, pretty much everything.
Seriously, try to picture it. Your plane has crashed, you are literally 1,000 miles from anywhere, and out of nowhere this little kid shows up and has just one thing to ask you. Please, draw me a sheep. I mean, what? This completely bizarre, wonderful meeting is where it all begins, and it immediately throws the whole ridiculous logic of the adult world into sharp relief.
Now, to really get the prince, you have to know where he's from. And nope, it's not Earth. His home is this tiny little planet, asteroid B612, and that's where we find the real emotional core of this whole story.
You know, life for him on this tiny world is all about these simple but super important routines. He's got to pull up these dangerous baobab sprouts before they rip his planet apart. He has to clean his 3 little volcanoes. But his biggest job, the one that's everything to him, it's taking care of one very, very special flower. A flower with a lot of personality, let's just say. And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? For the prince, loving that one flower completely changes the universe. Suddenly, every single star in the sky is a little reminder of her, and the whole night is just filled with meaning and happiness. And then there's this. This is where you really see the clash, you know? The pilot, the grown-up, is all focused on matters of consequence, fixing his engine. He just sees a trivial concern. But for the prince, the fate of his flower is the fate of the universe. It's so powerful. He's showing us that the things we choose to love are what give the world its light. So, the prince is feeling a little hurt and misunderstood by his flower. So what does he do? He leaves. He sets off on a journey, and this journey takes him on basically a tour of 6 other little planets. And on each one, there's a single grown-up, and each one is a perfect little snapshot of just how absurd we adults can be. Okay, so check out this lineup. First, there's a king with absolutely no one to rule. Then, a conceited man who only wants to hear praise. You've got a drunkard who drinks to forget he's ashamed of drinking. Yeah, that's a loop. A businessman who's busy owning the stars, a poor lamplighter who's just trapped by his orders, and finally, a geographer who's never actually been anywhere. It's just this brilliant, sad, and funny takedown of all the ways grown-ups lose sight of what's important. But here's the thing, even in the middle of all this ridiculousness, you get these little flashes of truth. The king, as silly as he is, drops this incredible piece of wisdom. It's a great reminder, right? Real wisdom isn't about bossing other people around. It's about getting a handle on yourself. So out of all these characters, there's only one that the prince actually respects, the lamplighter. And you gotta ask, why him? It's because his job, as pointless and repetitive as it seems, is for something other than himself. He's lighting a star, or maybe a flower. He's not just feeding his own ego. And to the little prince, that's everything. So, the prince's big tour finally brings him to the last stop, our planet Earth. And it's here, in another huge, lonely desert, that he's going to meet a fox. And this fox is about to teach him the most important secrets in the entire book. The fox tells the prince he wants to be tamed. And this word, tame, is the absolute key to the whole story. It doesn't mean what you think it means, like control or domination. No, it means to create a bond. It's this whole process of making something or someone totally unique in the whole world, just for you. It takes time, patience, showing up, all of it.
And once that bond is formed, the fox shares the first big secret. And this is probably the most famous line in the whole book. It's the central idea. All the stuff that actually truly matters, love, friendship, real beauty, you can't see it with your eyes. You can't measure it. You can only feel it right here with your heart.
Then comes the second secret, and this one is a total game changer for the prince. See, he had just seen a whole garden full of thousands of roses that looked exactly like his flower, and he was crushed. He thought his rose wasn't special at all. But the fox explains, it's not about what she looks like, it's about the time you spent on her, the time you wasted. That's what makes your rose, or anyone or anything you love, so incredibly important. And the last secret. Wow, this one is heavy. It's a beautiful idea, but it's also a huge responsibility. When you make that connection, when you tame someone, you are responsible for them. Forever. And that's when it all clicks for the prince. He gets it now. He is responsible for his rose. So, with all this new understanding, the little prince knows what he has to do. He has to go home. And this is where the story shifts toward its famous, bittersweet ending. It's a goodbye that feels like both an ending and a new beginning. It's exactly 1 year to the day since he arrived on Earth. The prince arranges his return trip with a snake. The next morning, the pilot looks for him, but his little body is gone. He'd said it was too heavy to take with him, like an old empty shell you just leave behind. Because, of course, what's essential is invisible.
But he doesn't leave the pilot with nothing. He leaves him a gift. He says that from now on, when the pilot looks up at the stars, they won't just be silent points of light. He'll be able to hear the prince's laughter in them. It completely transforms the night sky from something empty into something full of joy and friendship.
The book ends 6 years later, and the narrator, the pilot, he makes this final heartbreaking plea to us, the readers. It's just this beautiful, aching expression of love and loss. It's this hope that the things that are truly essential can never really be gone for good. It's asking us to keep our eyes open, to never forget the ones we've loved. And that's really where the book leaves us, right? It takes that secret from the fox and turns it back on us as a question. The Little Prince is this perfect reminder that the most important things in our lives are never, well, things. So, I'll leave you with the same question to think about. What is the essential thing in your life that is invisible to the eye?